Good afternoon to one and all who is listening to our board's program. Today's webinar is on Success Mantra for Startups. And today our learned speaker is CMA Jyotsna Rajpal Madam. So before we start the program, we shall want to play the Institute's anthem, please.
Are we live? Ma'am, are we live? Yes, we are live.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
Welcome back to the event. Now I will be requesting to our chairman, CMA Suresh Gunjali sir, to give his welcome address for the day.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, my dear CMA professional colleague. Today we are having a webinar session on Success Mantra for Startups. It is the continued our webinar series during the month of June. As all of you know that we have declared this as a MSME month. All of you know that startups are very crucial for economic growth and development. Today, startups are playing a very significant role in Indian economy in terms of innovation, in terms of bringing the FDI investment to the India. I think these are the main pillar of our today's Indian economy. Because of this innovation and more startups in Unicorn, we are able to reach the 4th position in our that world in a 4th position. So I think I welcome CMA Jyotsna Madam for webinar. Madam, we are very grateful for accepting our invitation and delivering the webinar. I am having a confidence that today's webinar will be great learning for all of us. I think whatever we learn from here, we can implement in our practice, or either in our employment or in practice. So I welcome each one of you for today's webinar. Thank you, one and all. I'm over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chairman sir. Now, before we hand over the speaker to our Honorable Madam, just a brief about herself. So, CMA Jyotsna Rajpal is a practicing CMA with 33 years of experience in industry and academics. She has exposure to 25 plus industries and specializes in strategic cost management, systems development, various statutory and management audits, project financing, and public issue management, etc. Apart from being a practitioner, she is also a writer and orator. Her in the initial years included IPO management, project financing, and developing management system. As a budding professional, she capitalized on this rich exposure by venturing into manufacturing business and attained milestones like getting many projects, awards, and recognitions at state and national level. Her efforts were also recognized by Economic Times Power of Ideas. Being a CMA, her specializations encompass systems development and implementation, like systems that provide decision-making inputs to top management for their consistent business growth. Specially mentioned are sugar, refined oil, power, FMCG, distillery, LPG, and transport and industries. She has contributed papers in seminars and workshops, and also she contributed for the Institute study materials and journals. So, madam, over to you, and you please enlighten our members in your own ways, please.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this platform and sharing my experiences with the industry and specifically with reference to the startups. I will say today's session is all about my learnings, whatever I have learned during my tenure of 32 years with the industry and for a short while as entrepreneur and whatever our institute curriculum has taught us. So this is all blend of all the three things. So today I will I'll take my pleasure to share all this with you. And still I will say that I'm not too much expert in oration and all whatever madam has said, it is not that that true. So if I do some mistake or if I say something wrong, please excuse me. I like disclaimer at the beginning itself. So friends, startup has become a very important part of our MSME sector and industry. And it is taking a lot of, like it has taken almost a frontal seat. I will just share my PPT. Is it visible? Is my PPT visible?
Yes, madam, visible. Visible, madam.
It is showing not available to me. I don't know what has happened.
But it is.
But just a moment. Okay, I'll just take once again. Once I'll just come back and just a moment. I'll share once again because I was not able to see my PPT. Has it come in the slide share mode?
Yes, madam. Are you able to see now?
Yeah, I'm able to see it now.
Okay, fine.
And now I can forward with this. And friends, startup has almost taken a very frontal seat in nowadays in MSME sector especially. So it is nothing but a small, I can say it's a business enterprise that is at its very infancy stage. So just to qualify to be as startup, we need to qualify certain things. We need to have certain eligibilities. In fact, innovation and all this has been happening since beginning in India. But this all was recognized by our government on 16th January 2016 when they came out with a scheme for the startups, because it was observed that small units, though they may be innovative, they may be very much useful for the society and nation at large, but because of certain hiccups, initial hiccups, and they are all like first generation entrepreneurs, so because of all small hiccups at the beginning, they are not able to survive. So government came out with a lot of support mechanism to like help startups to come out successfully and make the MSME sector vibrant. So for this to become a startup, we need to be, first of all, in my view, the first foremost requirement is being innovative. if you are innovative, if you have some innovative idea, you can convert it into a startup. Then they have recognized certain form of businesses. In this, partnership firm can be there, private limited company can be there, and LLP can be there. No individual proprietary concern can become a startup. So to be startup, you need to have a registered entity. Then startup can be only, can remain startup only up to the end of 10th year from the date of its incorporation. Like for first 10 years, it can avail, it can enjoy all the benefits, whatever is being assigned to the startups. Then the business, whatever idea, whatever thing they have innovated, or whatever services they are providing, it should be a scalable thing, right? It should not be a very region specific, or it should not be a very small scale. It should not be done at a small scale. It should have a potential to become a scalable product, maybe even national or even at international level. And limit to be a startup is for annual turnover should be less than 100 crore rupees. So the day it crosses annual turnover of 100 crore, it ceases to be the startup. So till you achieve the turnover of 100 crore, you will continue to enjoy the benefits, what all has been assigned to the startups. And then it's very simple clauses here. That basically is to help the genuine startups, that it should not be made by splitting up of a company or by reconstruction of a company. Like formally, it should be a company, but that company should not be made up of a split up company or by the process of reconstruction. So these are the 6 basic requirements one should have to have its startup. Now, what kind of government support is available for the startup? First of all, government is ready to mentor you through its various schemes, right from ideation up to scaling up. Like right at the ideation stage, they give you all the facilities to develop the concept. Then up to scale up, like till you attain the market, till you reach the national or international level. Till then, they are there with you. Handholding is there, mentoring is there. Then they provide you seed funds. Like I told you that right from ideation, government support is there. So apart from mentoring, they also provide you seed funds. If your idea is really scalable and it is really genuine and they see that it is good to be commercialized, so they provide you the seed funds where you can develop your idea, you can make the prototypes, you can do all the tests and validations, and then you can launch it, and they can provide you even for the facilities for the commercialization also. Then once your product is commercialized, they provide you the investor connect also. Like they can connect you that ministry and DP IIT will be connecting you to the investors so that you can get the funds, whatever requirement for your business, so that you can scale up and survive in the market. Then from the tax holiday part, we get, earlier we used to get tax holiday, that is continued. We get tax holiday for 3 years. Out of 10 years, we get it for 3 years. And then another exemption was also there, but that is now gone, because that is gone, that is repealed from the Act itself. And then there are legal exemptions from the 9 acts. Out of those 9 acts, there are 6 labor laws which we are exempted as startup. So this is all we are getting from the government as a support. But and today, if you look at the numbers, around 180,000 people have already registered as startup. But how many are working? How many are there surviving successfully? I think very, very few are doing it. Few are surviving. Few are still at the very infancy stage. So despite of all this government support, MSME startups are not able to, like at first go, they are not being very successful. At first instance, they are not being very successful. So why? You must have thought sometime you must be, whenever cases like Byju's and other similar things are coming up in front of us, we must be thinking that why, because of so much of government support, why, because of so much of availability of funds, so much of facilities, why these are not coming properly, why they are not coming up in the flying colors. Some are really coming up. And if you remember, some days ago, our Minister for Commerce also said, Mr. Piyush Goyal said that because our startups are coming mainly for the services, they are not coming with the innovation. That's why they are not able to succeed. So I have just listed out certain things, certain parts which I observed during my working with the industry, that these are essentials for a startup to come out successfully. So I will just discuss all those points. So we all know that very old concept of 6M, that is essential for a business. So what are those 6Ms? Those are, earlier it used to be men, machine, money, market, materials, and management. But I have observed that now the sequence has reversed. Now it starts with the management and end up with the machines, because good management has become a little tricky thing. Money is also little difficult, but we are getting it, for especially for the startups. We are getting abundant of money if our idea is good, if our idea is scalable and innovative. So we will just see these items one by one, that what all do's and don'ts are there for a startup to deal with 6M. Okay, so I start with the management, or in other words, you can call it governance also. So management has to be for rest of the 5 items. Like, we need to manage the money, we need to manage the materials, we need to manage the market, we need to manage the manpower, and we need to manage the machines. So to be a successful manager or to be a successful startup, we need to manage, or we need to know that how to manage these 5 elements, which are basic essentials for the successful business. So how we can manage these items, we will just see one by one. I will not go too much into detail or industry examples because our time is very limited. But yes, definitely I will come out with the things, whatever my observations are. So let's start with the money, that we call finances. So every startup, we know that startup happens only when a person is innovative. Innovative person need not to necessarily know about the finances. They may not be very good in the financing aspects, but to be successful as startup, the entrepreneur or the person behind the startup or the overall management behind the startup must have basic understanding of the finances, because nothing can happen, no business can happen without properly managing the funds, properly managing the finances. Then once you have basic understanding, business acumen, normal business acumen, like how to spend, how to earn, how to account for, that is all common. So I believe that all the startups which are coming with this, coming up, they are having the basic understanding of finances. If they are not having, because sometimes I see many technical people, many technocrats, they lack the basic financial understanding. So they must acquire this understanding about the finances. They should be able to understand financial statements. Why? Because financial statements are the ultimate depiction of the performance about your business, financial performance of your business. Like, to know, to drive a car, we may not knowing the basic mechanism behind it, but we know its basic functions. Similarly, to run a business, we may not know the fineries of intricacies of the financing, but we must be able to understand the basic financial statements. What is capital? What is asset? What is current asset? What is current liability? What are the provisions? What are the... So one should be able to understand the basic terminology which is there in the financial statements. They may not be very good in passing the accounting entries, or we don't expect them to do this, but they should be able to understand whatever has been presented in front of them in the form of the financial statements. Then they must have financial discipline. That is very important, because what is happening nowadays, money is very easily available. You can get, as startup especially, you get the money very fast, very quickly you get, so that government thinks that you should get the money. And even there are a lot of organizations, private sector organizations also, like angel funds are there, angel investors are there. So they may provide you the finances. But you know, every single penny which is coming to my kitty comes along with a liability also. What is my liability? That I have to pay it back. Either I have to pay it back as it is, or I have to pay some interest, or I have to pay in the form of market appreciation. So somewhere, some discipline is needed to give back that money, because I am utilizing that for my business things. So we should maintain a financial discipline. If something is to be paid back, has to be paid back properly in time. If something is to be, some market things have to be done. And the purpose for which we have received that money, suppose I have received that money for the prototype testing, then that should be utilized for prototype testing. Then with that fund, we should not go for the advertising. If I have got some money for the market development, that money should not be utilized for developing the prototype or taking the validations, etc. So that kind of financial discipline we need to maintain, that whatever money has come to us, we need to pay it back. That should be always at the back of our mind. Then second thing, for whatever purpose it has come to us, it should be utilized for that very purpose. There should be no other purposes. Right? Then we need to continuously monitor also. Continuous monitoring is very important as far as your finances and your operations are concerned. We will have all separate two slides about the continuous monitoring. But for every aspect, continuous monitoring is very important for a startup to be successful. The way innovation is essential to be a successful startup, similarly, continuous monitoring is also important to be a successful startup. So this is a success mantra. Now we come to the another M, that is materials, or we call it inputs. So for inputs, every business is having some inputs. So for those inputs, if it is a production based or manufacturing startup, then in that case, geographical location is very important, because if you are at such a place where there is no raw material available, where there is no support material available, it will be very difficult for you to run that startup. And then you have to manage the inward logistics also. Like I come from the sugar industry, so I will give you a small example. If you are putting up a sugar mill in an area where there is no sugar cane availability within the radius of 50 kilometers, means all the cane which you are getting from the market, which you are getting from the fields, is coming from 50 kilometers and beyond. Your sugar mill cannot be a profit venture. So you need to think geographical location from that perspective, that our inward logistics need to be maintained. And we need to be very careful about the inventory management also, because nowadays we don't have that kind of huge profits which earlier it used to be, because cost is killing us. So we need to be very conscious about the inventory management aspects. And startups also look every material from that perspective. If it is easily available, we can hold a smaller inventory. If it is available or procurement cost is more, then we can maintain some. So that kind of equilibrium we have to maintain, especially for the inventory aspect. Then we should give a thrust on minimizing the wastages, because as I just said, that cost is killing us. So if our wastage are soaring high, then we cannot be competitive, because here we have to be very competitive. And to be startup, don't think, because sometimes I have seen this mentality that they say, no, it is our exclusive product. It's a unique product. Nobody else is going to have. Fine, it is a unique product. Nobody else is in the market. There's no competition. But tomorrow, someone will definitely come and conquer you. Unless you conquer the cost, someone will come and he will conquer you. So you need to minimize the wastages and you must focus on the cost optimization. So materials are also very important part, because without this, your business is nothing. You cannot survive unless you have the basic inputs. Then market. What for we are doing all this? We are doing everything for the market. So every startup must identify the market gap. Before starting their project, even government is also providing you seed funds of 20 lakhs available for all the startups. There they give you specific money to identify the market. Once you have identified the market gap, then accordingly you can change the product. You can change your technique or whatever is available, whatever product you are making or whatever services you are providing. Then you can identify your niche where you can place yourself. Then comes a product differentiation. So if you want to be a unique person or unique product or unique service, then you must focus on the product differentiation right at the drawing stage. If you have prepared a product which is not different from the regular products, maybe your process may be different, maybe your raw material required may be slightly different. That may be your innovation, but unless your product is not giving some different properties to the customers, some added advantages, some edge to the buyers, they will not go for it. Only because it is made by some startup, people may not buy it in long term. Once they can buy, definitely they can buy, but they cannot buy it in the routine. So you must have some edge by like product differentiation. Okay, then effective pricing. If your product is very good, market gap is also there, and product is satisfying the customer, but if it is not appropriately priced, it will not go in the market properly. You will not be able. There are so many examples of products like Onida. You remember Onida television was there. At that time, there was no proper color television in the market. That they offered a very big product differentiation also, but that was not effectively priced. So it went out of the market very soon. Some years, for few years, it ruled the market. But later on, when Sony and all other Samsung and all other TV companies have, TV brands have come, then Onida is nowhere visible. So we need to be very effective with the pricing also. And then brand positioning. We know that, we know the story of Nano. It was an excellent product, but it was not positioned properly. How Tata tried to sell it, that it is a common man's car or it's a poor man's car. So that was not the brand positioning that product deserved, because the people we positioned for whom we have like put up that product in the market, they never needed a car. They were very happy with the two-wheeler thing. So that was the reason Tata Nano, even Sir Ratan Tata has confirmed this thing that Nano positioning of Nano was a mistake, biggest mistake of Tata Industries, Tata Motors. So we need to position our product very nicely. That will lead to the success. Right product at right time at right price. So we need to consider all these things in mind. Then outbound logistics are also very important. Who is your end customer? If you are supplying to some particular industry, suppose you are giving to some automotive industry, so your plant, your factory or your location should be close to those auto manufacturers, close to auto manufacturers. So outbound logistics should be kept in mind while choosing your location. So you need to see that. And then it is like, suppose all the 5 elements we have like combined properly, and we have attained success in selling our product. Like market was there, we have made a unique, good, very nice product. We priced it also nicely. We positioned it properly. The logistics were also managed. But if you do not upgrade that product in long term, you will be out of market very soon, because every day new products are being launched in the market. So constant innovation should be your niche. Constant innovation should be there, and you need to upgrade your product as far as according to the market requirement. You have always need to think about that what customer needs. Suppose I have given X quality, now they will be going for X plus. So what will be X plus? So constantly you need to upgrade your product so that you do not go out of the market. I will give you the small example of this camera films. Once this Kodak was a very like popular name for the camera lovers in the early 80s and 90s. In the early 80s and by early 90s, till early 90s, till the digital cameras came into the picture. So everyone was buying Kodak film. They never thought that they can be out of the market just by coming off the digital cameras. But they didn't improve themselves. They didn't upgraded themselves. So they went out of the market. Nobody knows about them. And even Nokia is also the same thing. They didn't upgrade their products, so they went out of the market. So constant product upgradation is very important for the startups if they want to play long term. Then comes human assets, men. The concept of men has changed. Now it is upgraded to the human assets, and we need to recognize our human assets. We need to recognize the uniqueness of the human assets. We can go for proper planning, hiring, nurturing, evaluating, and rewarding for the human assets. Then comes machines. Machines are very important ingredient for our entire project. So we should go for the appropriateness. Like machines need to be very appropriate. We need not to buy considering 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. If I feel that market demand, market requirement is for 10,000 tons per month, then I should go for say 15,000 or 20,000 tons per month. But I should not go for 1 lakh tons per month, because that will be unnecessary heavy investment. And on that investment, you need to pay back heavy interest. Then you need to pay more repairs and maintenance. You need to spend more electricity to run those machines. And ultimately, you will be barred by lower capacity utilization. And that will ultimately lead to the poor profits. And it will ultimately lead to the non-sustainability of the project. So we say machine hai, we need to buy anything we can buy. No, you need to be very conscious for buying the machines, and we should take those machines which can be upgraded gradually. Okay, so these are the few aspects we need to consider for machines. Now let's come to the tools for winning enterprises. These were the basic 6 elements which I discussed. Now there are certain items which are very much essential to be a successful. I will not say them as success mantra, but these are the essentials to be successful. Number 1 is perpetual innovation. Like at every stage, I discussed that we need to constantly innovate. We need to constantly upgrade. So if the day you stop innovating yourself, the day you stop innovating your products or services, you start declining. And that becomes the end of your your product or services are very nearby. Then comes another important ingredient, important tool is cost leadership. The day you forget the cost, the day you say, oh, we have enough of profits, we don't need to bother about saving single penny. Don't need to worry about the single rupee which we are spending. But friends, my experience is that big organizations are getting bigger only because they are following the cost leadership. And by the grace of God, we as CMA know very well the significance of cost reduction and cost, you can say cost reduction and cost optimization. So every startup should go for the cost leadership. It is not like that every moment you think of saving a penny, but whatever decisions you are taking, you must consider the cost impact, because I have seen that technocrats don't have this cost sense to implement in their innovations. So we need to, when it goes to the practical implementation or when it goes for the scaling up, then in that case, cost leadership, when you have to prepare, say 10 units or 100 units, cost may not matter. But when you are multiplying it to the lakhs and lakhs of units, then definitely cost, even 1 rupee matters. Then third tool is you need to plan well. Means you need to have budgets in place every time. Once your production is stabilized, your market is stabilized, you can continue to grow only if you plan well. If you don't plan well, you will not be able to grow. You may be busy in daily firefighting. So startups should not die because of daily firefighting things. And then very important aspect is constant monitoring. Constant monitoring is not like watching every moment, putting cameras everywhere. No, that is not consistent monitoring. We need to have consistent monitoring even by not seeing the factory. Even if I am sitting in the head office and I am having 10 factories, I should be able to monitor those 10 factories just by a slip of my finger. That by clicking one thing, one report, I may be able to get that how much we have really worked in the one day. Like just 2 days ago, I think I was hearing to Birla Group CEO. He was telling that every day we know what our kurta is. They call it kurta analysis. That's a Marwadi word. Means every day they know that how much contribution or how much money their business across the group, across the country has earned. So that kind of efficient monitoring system we need to have. It's not like about that we want to like it is against someone or something. No, it is very essential tool. We will just discuss more about this tool. Then we need to analyze the variances. Like we have prepared the budgets, we have monitored our performance indexes, and then we need to analyze. Suppose I have targeted that in a day I will be generating, say, 10 million units, but I'm able to generate only 9.5 million units. So where this 0.5 million units, why we could not generate? We need to analyze those variances. Okay, so, and after analyzing that why this 0.5 million units were not generated, so what is the corrective measures we need to take? What was the reason? Was my plant not working finally? Was my coal not good? Was my, ash was too much dumped, so I could not generate more? So like this, we need to analyze and we need to take the corrective measures. And friends, all the startups, because they are not the established business players, they need to monitor all these things. They need to use these tools on daily basis. And if they use these tools, I'm sure that they will never fail. And we as CMA can certainly help them in doing all these, in applying all these 6 tools to bring them in the winning situation. Then comes cost leadership. Cost leadership we just talked about, that it is basically a strategy adopted to gain competitive advantage. Now, what is the strategy? Cost leadership is a strategy that is achieved by three things. One is cost conscious culture. Suppose I have inculcated a culture in my organization that whosoever is leaving the room should switch off the AC. Okay, so then automatically that culture will percolate down in the entire organization, and we may not be saving a very substantial amount by this one practice, but we may be able to achieve some cost improvement. Okay, then comes concurrent value chain control. So we all know value chain. So we need to focus, like inbound logistics, we need to work out, then operations we need to work out, and we need to focus on our outbound logistics also. So by this concurrent value chain control, we can attain the cost leadership, because suppose you are saving 1 rupee at every step, you are saving say 10% at every step, then overall your cost of your product will go down by 10%. So that will give you a better position as compared to your competitors. So this thing, like cost conscious culture and concurrent value chain control, we can attain this cost leadership. And then we need to optimally utilize the assets. As I just told you, in case of machines and materials, that we should work on the for the optimization of utilization of all the resources. For materials also, we should minimize the wastages. For machines, we should try to maximize the capacity utilization. So with these strategies, we can certainly achieve the cost leadership. And this cost leadership is fostered by continuous cost reduction. Cost control is definitely going to give us an edge, but cost reduction is the ultimate objective we need to achieve. So this will help us, help our business to grow continuously, and will help us to get the competitive advantage. Then comes, we were talking about consistent monitoring. So consistent monitoring is not, I just told you that it is not monitoring with the help of cameras. CCTV cameras are not going to give you consistent monitoring. We need to be smart. What does mean by smart? Smart is acronym. You must always remember this, that whenever you talk about monitoring, whenever you talk about indicators, key performance indicators, these indicators should be developed in a very smart way. What is smart? Means it should be very specific. It should be measurable. Unless any indicator that is not measurable, I say quality is good, it is not measurable. I need to put some quality parameters which are measurable, right? So it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be achievable. Parameters should not be such that my capacity, machine capacity is 10,000 units or 10,000 million units power generation, but I cannot generate more than say 9,000 or 8,000 because of grid restriction. That in the area, I cannot supply that power 10,000 million units. I can supply only 8,000 million units in a month. Then that is not achievable. 10,000 is not achievable. So whatever parameters, whatever indicators we are fixing, whatever we are planning, it should be achievable. Then it should be replicable. It should be able to, we should be able to replicate it very comfortably. Then comes, it should be time bound. If I am getting a daily report after 1 week, it will have no meaning. If my plant was shut yesterday and I am getting the information after 3 days, I cannot take, my 2 more days are gone. I have lost those 3 days. So it has to be, if it is daily report, it should be reported on daily basis. If it is a monthly report, it should be reported well in time. Unless if it is in time, it will have no meaning. So what are the KPIs, key performance indicators, whatever we are developing, we can develop for the constant monitoring. These may be from 5 broad areas. These vary industry to industry, company to company, size of organization to a different size of organization, but basic core areas remain 5. One is operations, That is, next is profitability, then human resources, market, and capital productivity. These are the 5 key areas that should be monitored on consistent basis, right? And continuously we should be able to monitor them. We can have a monitoring timeline as well. What are these timelines? Like for daily things, it should be daily, monthly, and yearly. Somewhere it may be even weekly or quarterly or fortnightly. It depends company to company. But for the convenience, I have just mentioned daily, monthly, and yearly. So most crucial technical parameters, operational parameters should be monitored on daily basis. So there are 3 most important which have direct bearing on your profit. That is capacity utilization, yield, and working hours. These are the 3 things, these 3 operational parameters which should be monitored on regular basis, on daily basis, day-to-day basis. Then there are certain financial things also that need to be monitored on daily basis. That is, number 1 is value of production, because our plant is working means we are creating some value. So value of production, what is the primary margin and what is the contribution? I think we as CMS, we need not to understand these terminologies. Then on monthly basis, we should have the operational data along with the stoppages. And for the financial data, we can have profitability, like monthly P&L has to be there. Based on that P&L, we can work out the profitability, liquidity, and cash flow. So these have to be monitored on monthly basis. And on yearly basis, we can continue to monitor the operational and financial data, whatever we are doing on monthly basis. And then additionally, we need to work out capital productivity ratio, market capitalization, employee productivity, market performance, brand positioning. These are the parameters which need to be monitored on year-to-year basis. And we should have a track on these parameters just to have a check on our performance. If you want to go through in this in detail, I have just given a full-fledged article in the MSME Tidbits about these KPIs. So you can go through that article. I think that will give you some more insights about the key performance indicators. Now I will come to the success mantra. What we must do as a startup. Number 1, we should be very much in time. For everything, we need to have the habit of timeliness, like delivering the products, making the payments, and other commitments. For everything, we should maintain the timelines. Then you need to listen to your experts. Internal experts means your staff, your employees, your key persons, and external consultants. You need to listen. You should never say that I am the entrepreneur, I have started all this, so I will not listen to you guys. No, you should listen to your expert, because expert is a person who can see much more than a common man, right? And then you should follow financial discipline. We have already talked about this. Then you need to care for your assets, financial as well as non-financial. Human resources are our most crucial non-financial assets. You need to care for them. Respect your customers, institutions, and financial partners. Always remember that you are nothing without these 3. If you don't have customers, for whom you will prepare. If you don't have support of institutions, you will never have been able to survive. And your financial partners, without whom you are nothing. So you should always remain respectful to these 3 people. Then you need to maintain timely payment for your all creditors, for your materials and services, including your staff and statutory obligations. Then next is you need to honor timelines for statutory non-financial obligations. Sometimes what we think, oh, we have already deposited TDS. We need not to file the TDS return. Friends, unless you file the TDS return, how that is going to save you? A penalty for non-filing of return will be imposed on you. Though that commitment, that requirement, that obligation is definitely non-financial, but it is going to give you a pecuniary liability. pecuniary penalty. So you should always honor timeline for statutory non-financial obligations. And there are plenty of non-financial obligations, like filing of annual return. It does not require any financial outlay, except say 600, 1200 rupees. But people miss it and then they pay 6 times. So you should always honor these timelines. Then strictly follow the payment terms with your customers. If you stop taking money from your customers, you will never be able to survive. There is a very crude statement, "Ghoda ghas se yari kar lega, to khayega kya?" Means if we don't take money from the people, it is due to us what we will be, how we will get our money. That is our only source of income. So you should be very good in delivering your products, but at the same time, you should strictly follow up the payments due from your customers. And you should always be in the what next mode, because every time at every step I told you that we need to think that what can be a better product, what can be a cost reduction technique to be adopted, what can be the how we can get more efficiency into our operations. So always your mind as a startup entrepreneur should be always on the what next. Remaining things are settled, people are doing their task, but your task is to take up the what next, means where we want to reach in next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. And lastly, but not the least, contribute towards the sustainable planet by minimizing business impact on the environment and becoming carbon neutral and getting social inclusivity. Also, we can talk some other time about these aspects. This is very close to heart topic for me. But for every startup, I think if we are contributing a bit towards a sustainable planet, definitely it will add to our success. And then there are certain don'ts which we should never do. Number one, we should never make a false commitment to fetch anything non-deserving. If we are not able to deliver a product or project, we should never commit for it. Okay. We should never take a favor which we are not able to honor. We should never disrespect our associates, because whatever we are today, we are because of our associates, our institutions, financial partners, and customers. So you should never have an eye of disrespect for these people. Then you should never skip the liabilities towards the staff, financial institutions, and statutory authorities. Never violate timelines. Then never sit on pedestal while interacting with your staff, suppliers, and customers. Just be part of the team. Only then you will be going for a successful enterprise. Because if you think that you are a very wonderful person because you have innovated all this, no doubt, heads off to you. You are running the entire thing. You are running the entire show. But you are part of a team. Had others not been there, you would not have been survived. So every startup owner, every startup entrepreneur should have this thing in mind, that definitely my work is important. All credit goes to you. This entire startup is because you are there. So you should, but you are working as a part of the team. And then don't try to fetch vertical growth. We have seen the many people, many industries or entrepreneurs who have tried to attain vertical growth and they fell down also vertically. So better rise in a nice slope and be there, be at the top. Okay, so never try for the vertical growth. This is all from my side. I think I have taken 5 minutes more or so, but I think we can conclude it here. So this is all from my side. Once again, thank you so much, madam, and all the friends who patiently listened to me.
And, madam, there is a question asked by Ranganathan, that can a comprehensive regulatory compliance and cost improvement by startups by way of third-party sports from agencies
Madam,
formed for...
Madam, there was a lag in your this thing. Will you please repeat the question?
I am repeating,
Yeah.
madam.
Yeah,
Can a
please.
comprehensive regulatory compliance and cost improvement by startups by
Mhm.
way of third part sports from agencies formed for this purpose be a facilitator for startups?
There, I don't know any particular agency which is providing all these services at one place. But I think, yes, if someone wants to go for it, they can go for it. Like if you want to start this kind of services for the startups, it will definitely give you an edge. But I don't see any agency which is giving all the services, we just discussed that startup is not only the technical innovation, it is like about everything what we are doing together. Like all 6 M's we need to manage together. So we need to do everything for all these 6 things.
It was an excellent session expressed by so
Thank
many
you, ma'am.
members. So on
Thank
behalf of
you.
the MSME and Startup Promotion Board also, I appreciate your kurta idea. I have also learned today because Marwadis maintain
Yeah.
this Birla organization. You have seen this. So many things I myself has also learned. So we are really thankful to you, madam, for such nice presentation. Please be with us. For MSME tidbits also, we need good writers like you, because your
Thank
write-up
you.
in MSME tidbit has been appreciated by many readers. So we thank you
Thank you.
again for that also. And please be with us in our board. We need the expertise of persons like you for our board to grow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you. I'm always there. I'm always available.
Thank you.
Yes,
Madam.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Thank you.
with this ending of this session today, all the attendees, those who have attended, there is a good number of attendees. So more than 250 attendees have listened to you, requesting you to share your PPTs, ma'am, so
Yes,
that
yes.
we
I'm
will
just sending.
share it with
Yes.
the attendees.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay,
everybody.
madam. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Okay.